All right, how are we all doing today?
Doing good, doing good.
Yeah, well, good man. Another Friday come round too quick.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
becoming our thing, right, Darren?
yeah.
How
It's
fun
it's
is it?
fun though, seeing who we're getting on and different conversations we have. Like so,
Yeah,
yeah,
it
it's good.
is. It is. I love it. So while everybody joins, I'm not gonna say anything about the call yet, so we'll give time for everybody to be here. Just saying hello to everybody, those coming in, Jaime, Damir, Robert, Victor, Deepika, Wasim. How's everybody doing today? You want to give us a reaction? Say hi. It's awesome. Yeah, he is. That's perfect. How's the weather in the UK?
It is really hot at the minute today, so
In Portugal, it
yeah,
looks
we're
like
doing
the
all right.
UK.
That's it.
Yeah. How is it over there, Barry?
It's okay. It's too cold for the time of year, but yeah, I mean, it's what are we? Almost May, and it's this week I had to do the windows of my car. There was ice on the windows of my car.
Really?
What are we
We've
talking
been
about?
having
There's
beach days here.
yeah. Don't talk to me about Portugal. I have another friend who lives there who's telling me about the 25 degrees. It's like, and he was going surfing, and it's like, yeah, okay, don't stop rubbing it in. It's
All right,
horrible,
sorry. No more Portugal talk
cruel.
now.
Uh,
All right, so we've got
uh,
some people
Not
in.
in Dubai.
I'm just gonna let everybody know. I don't know those who've joined us before and those who haven't. So basically, this is a very light-hearted conversation. The main subject is mastering LinkedIn client attraction. Darren and I have been doing some interesting work on that. Today we have the amazing Perry join us. He's the utmost authority on the Sales Navigator and an amazing sales trainer. So I just want to let everybody know before, whenever you want to ask anything to any of us at any moment, there's no specific moments. Just raise your hand, and whenever we're ready, we'll bring you up to stage and we'll get your questions and answer them. So yeah, that's basically it. So as I said, mastering LinkedIn client attraction. I'm gonna I'm gonna let Darren do the introduction, the main introduction on Perry, because Perry was the organizer and the host of the LinkedIn Time event last year in the Netherlands, which was an amazing in-person event on LinkedIn. Darren was there as a speaker, and now we have Perry in our own little event. So Darren.
Yeah, so Perry Van Beek. So I met Perry. I'll quickly talk about how I met Perry actually, because we had a post go out coming up a year ago. So May 1st was the post, and it was about banners, and we were talking about banners, and Perry got tagged in the post. So it's about a year ago, and yeah, he got tagged in the post. I think he was probably looking for a banner or had mentioned to someone about banners, and anyway, we ended up doing Perry's banner. And that relationship then led to finding out that Perry, although he lives in Netherlands now and I live in UK, he used to live within about 5 miles of my house, like years ago when he was a lot younger. So it turned
a
out, yeah,
lot.
we had a bit of a bit of a connection there with location, and then that later led to the LinkedIn Time event, which is the biggest LinkedIn business networking event in the Netherlands. So yeah, I was invited over there to speak at that event. Got to meet Perry and his team as well, and that was phenomenal. But Perry's done a long time. He's prison sentence for the LinkedIn Sales Navigator. He is the author of LinkedIn Sales Navigator for Dummies. So he's got a lot of experience, a lot of educational knowledge, a lot of resources and everything like that. So, very good guy to have on.
Amazing.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
I couldn't be more excited to talk to Perry about this. Perry, you want to give us a bit of a self-introduction?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so Darren, remember where I was when we had that call? I was in Spain. I was in the south of Spain, very close to Portugal, actually. So yeah,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
friend, there's another link there to Portugal. So it was lovely, meeting you. And I was just sitting there in my shorts and my t-shirt. It was around this time of year, and so yeah, we got to chatting, and then you introduced me to some other people as well. and it's just and it's just taken off from there. And I was so impressed with you did my profile banner, and you redid it a couple of times as well. I mean, and it just stood out. So it felt to me it was like a no-brainer inviting you to speak at LinkedIn time. So yeah, basically so I've been on LinkedIn for 20 years. So I joined in 2004. I was actually one of the first million, which is just a lucky shot, I guess. And then in 2007, I started my own business in sales, helping other companies with setting up distribution networks. And I thought, I've been doing that for 15 years. I could probably do this, for other companies for myself now. So I started my own business, and I was just trying to find customers and customers and customers. I had everything. I had an office. I had a website. I had everything except customers, and it's kind of important. So I tried everything. I even tried LinkedIn, but cold outreach on LinkedIn. It just didn't work. And then at one point I thought, what did I do differently in those 15 years where I was successful? And then I remembered, I was adding value. I was adding value to my customers, to my clients. So I changed my strategy completely, and I started reaching out to people that I could add value to, and I started giving, just giving. And within 6 weeks, I had 3 paying clients across Europe, and I was like, wow, this is phenomenal. So I started sharing those tips with other people. And one thing led to another, and 2 years later, I was on national television in the Netherlands as the LinkedIn expert. So I kind of forced my hand to say, okay, let me just change my business completely from the whole sales thing to LinkedIn. So it's been an amazing journey so far, and it's nowhere near the end. I used to just be LinkedIn, all about LinkedIn, everything LinkedIn. Then I focused on sales, and when LinkedIn introduced Sales Navigator, the earliest version was around 2012, and then it became a separate sort of environment in 2014. And then I started focusing completely on that because I love the tool. I mean, it's just an amazing tool. So, but more about that later.
Yeah, thank you very much, Perry. It's an absolute honor to have you on with all your experience. And one of the things that actually I've been resonating with you so much is I'm all about attracting clients in as you know, as opposed to actually chasing them. And I love to see how you, as a sales guy, you're exactly the same. So you focus on providing value to people. And it's funny, we have the Alex Hormozy is the one who recently said in his books, giving give creates goodwill, whilst asking creates debt. So give first. And I'm all
Mm-hmm.
that's what I'm all about. And I love to see that that's how you work as well, Perry. So first of all, I just in these events we always start the same way. So I'm gonna do the main thing again. So we all know what LinkedIn is and what we're doing here. So if we're creating content, we're creating content. If either we are creating content or we're not, the main objective of LinkedIn is networking. And I think everybody can agree on that. And give me a reaction if you do agree on that. So we're here to network with other people, with other professionals. And it's funny that we had Darren had an interesting experience this week, that someone thought he asked to connect with someone, and they were like, they didn't want to connect with him because he was competition, apparently. And Darren, you want to share about that one?
Yeah, so I'll quickly go through that. So I tried to connect with a lady, and she was in LinkedIn training and profiles. So I don't know how good at profiles they are because I haven't seen her work, but I tried to connect, and she said, "Oh, thanks for the connection request, but no, thank you, because we offer a similar service." And I was like, "That's absolutely fine." But what I replied down was, I said, like, we sometimes get very busy, and I end up outsourcing work to some of our connections, because last year I outsourced a lot of work to Danny Townley and a couple of other connections as well. And then she replied saying, "Oh yeah, in that case, then we can hop on a call and have a chat." And I'm like, "Now you've blown that chance. Now, like, if you're going to see me as competition and not willing to connect based on that, then I'm not interested in having that relationship any further." So that's where it stopped.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah,
point I'd really like. Sorry, Perry, go ahead.
yeah. I mean, I completely recognize that. I mean, at LinkedIn time in the Netherlands last year, we had several speakers. And some of them are absolute competitors of mine, but they're also friends, and we add value to each other, and we share. We talk to each other a lot. I mean, Just this week, I I did a video together with Jan Willem Alphenaar, who's the expert on LinkedIn, LinkedIn advertising, but he's also an expert in LinkedIn sales solutions. So we did a video together on analyzing the LinkedIn Sales Navigator homepage. Now, are we competitors? Absolutely, but we're also, showing the world that we can work together. And it's like, it's if you close your world off to those people, you become very, very, very isolated. So I just embrace them. They grow together. It reminds me of that story that I once heard from about Coca-Cola, a vending machine. Somebody put a Coca-Cola vending machine somewhere, and they made about $100 a day, and then they put a Pepsi vending machine next to it. And they were like, "Oh, that's going to ruin us, right?" No, what happened was they were starting to sell for $400 a day, because now it wasn't the choice whether I'm going to have a Coke or not. No, now it's a Coke. Am I going to have a Coke or a Diet or a Pepsi? So so start working together. I mean, really, you grow together. 1 and 1 is 3.
Yeah, I'd really love to see people focusing more on seeing each other as collaboration instead of competition. So we all have different angles and we can help a different kind of audience. So that's the main key. Yeah, so that's perfect. So on the side, as I was saying, the first thing we have on LinkedIn is either whether you're creating content or you're not, you should still be active and creating those connections. Maybe you're not creating content, you can still be commenting on other people's comments, content, sorry, or you can you can just go into DMs if that's more of your style. But I think commenting is a very good thing to do, even if you're not a content creator or you don't want to be a content creator. The next step of this journey, once you're commenting, you're making yourself visible, is your profile. Because if you're commenting and people start seeing you, the first thing they see is your name, and after your name they see the first part of your headline straight away. So that might draw them to click through and see and know more about you. Then they land on your profile, and that's Darren's specialty. He's the high performance profile guy now, and he's done over 200 high performance profiles. And with Darren, it's not just about optimizing profile, and that's why he's calling it high performance profiles, because we're talking about profiles that get found on Google searches, that get you found on whenever someone looks for your service, what they're going to find on Google or on LinkedIn or wherever, it's going to be you first and foremost. Darren, do you want to tell us a bit about how that happens?
Yeah, so we'll just quickly go through that then. So obviously when we optimize profiles, we're typically looking at keyword optimization. There's 7 areas of the profile that we optimize for search, and then that comes up as part of the SEO element. And as you just said, because Google rank LinkedIn as a high authority website, those profiles get picked up at the top of Google as well. So the search bar, the search feature in Google also, it shows results based on your actual location. So, for profile optimization, I might show up in my area of 50 miles, but I might not show up in somewhere in like the US. So it's all relevant to your actual location itself as well. So, but when we do profiles, it's about being clear on what you do, who you do it for, what your offer is, making sure that's all aligned. And then obviously starting from the full optimization side, from custom URL with keywords straight through the banner, making sure you got a clean headshot, photo, the headline, and then go through the rest of the profile from there. I won't go through what we optimize on there fully because it'd be a long conversation. But we talked about it last time. The problem we're seeing at the moment is misalignment with content and your offer and your profile. So people are trying to, as I said last time, people are trying to sell a Ford in their content and then trying to sell a Ferrari or a Lamborghini on their profile. And it's like, well, you're driving the wrong traffic there, and people aren't trying to find a Lambo, they're trying to find a Ford. So it's trying to make sure that everything's aligned there. And even when we've gone through to our lead magnet and everything like that, that's got to also be aligned with everything else that's going on, because you don't want to, even writers, like if you're a sales copywriter, there's no point in having a lead magnet for press release, because now you're trying to guide the wrong kind of client for the type of writing that you're doing. If I was doing only banners, I don't want to do, like carousel lead magnets or anything like that, if that makes sense, because I'm only doing banners. So you've got to align it with what you're offering.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
exactly.
So, can
So
I add something to that? What you mentioned about SEO, something I know you know this, Darren and Fran, but a lot of people don't know this. Is that they optimize their profile and they write their great descriptions and everything, but then they forget to sort of switch that on in their LinkedIn public profile settings. And by default, your descriptions, your job description and everything is turned off. So Google doesn't index that part. So always make sure that you check your LinkedIn public profile and switch everything on because you want Google to index it.
Hmm.
of course,
Yeah.
yeah, if it's not on LinkedIn, they won't index it, of course. That's a big one. So as Darren's saying, then we'll, after that, what we have is we want to bring people off the platform. So the centerpiece on LinkedIn is your profile, and your activity is what's making you visible to others. So commenting or create or content creation or creating content, but still commenting is still the highest activity for to get you seen. Then people see your profile. That's where they understand who you are and what you offer. The next step is to actually give them something, and we go back to what Perry was saying initially, to give them something of value first instead of asking. Don't ask for their time, don't ask for their compromise, don't ask for anything. Give them something of value. On that note, you can actually, Darren has an offer on his profile if you want to have a look. So he's got, which is on the aspect that he was talking about on SEO, how to optimize a profile. So that's a good one. If you want to visit his profile, you can find that one. So after that, you want to bring people off platform and into your space, into something that you actually control, because LinkedIn is not yours. You're just borrowing the audience that is on LinkedIn. They don't belong to you, and they will not. They are seeing your post today, but tomorrow they probably won't see it, or they might not. It depends on their activity on LinkedIn, right, Perry?
Yeah, 100%.
So move them to an email list. Preferably, that's where you want your prospects to go next. So on this aspect, there's something I wanted to know from Perry. So using Sales Navigator, how can I hone in on my ideal client and start to find them so I can start commenting on their actual on the right person that I actually want the attention from?
Right. Well, of course, I mean, I work for many clients from the United Nations to Deloitte like a solopreneur in Brazil, and so it's a different strategy for everybody. That's why a lot of people are struggling with Sales Navigator because it's not a cookie cutter sort of tool, and it is different for everybody. So I do understand the challenges for people. What is Sales Navigator? Let me just real quickly explain to you how to look at Sales Navigator because a lot of people don't sort of understand that. You mentioned it. LinkedIn is for networking, and I completely agree with that. Completely, LinkedIn is not for selling. You do not sell on LinkedIn. Period. So it's for networking. What do is you network with people. You look at LinkedIn as like a network event. Now, what do you do when you go to a network event? You walk into the door, and you see like a few hundred people there, and you're like, okay, who can I talk to today? And you just start talking to random people. Well, the advantage of LinkedIn is that you see exactly who is who. So you know better who to look at it. So that's LinkedIn. Now, what if you could remove all the clutter that you're seeing? Because people in your network are commenting on posts from other people, and you see all kinds of clutter on your LinkedIn homepage, and you see all kinds of messages that are completely not relevant for you. Now, if you if you go to Sales Navigator, you just select those people and the companies they work for that you want to follow. So with one push of a button, if you walk into that networking event, poof, 80% have just disappeared, and you're just left with those people that you really want to follow and engage with. So that's really what Sales Navigator is. So it's really highly focused. Now, it does take some time in advance to go through Sales Navigator and set it up. Yes, it does take some time. That's an investment prior. But once you've done that, it's a huge time saver. It really saves you time because you go there every day. You just comment on those people that you want to be following and on the companies, and you utilize that tool to sort of get in touch with the other people. Now, the best way to do that typically is first to select accounts. So accounts are companies and leads are people in Sales Navigator. So what you do is you find the accounts that you want to work for, and within those accounts, then you can start searching for the right people. Now, there's some amazing tools within Sales Navigator. If you selected, like, I don't know, you selected 25 companies, and then you hit view all employees, and then you can start filtering that down to, like, function title, or maybe the people who have posted on LinkedIn in the past 30 days, or the people who've changed job in the past 90 days, or the people who are following your company already. How cool is that? So you can focus on all those things. So there's interest there. So, and then you start saving them. So that, and once you save them, you put them into lead lists. So you create account lists and lead lists. So this is I know this is a lot of information in a short time, but so you create account lists and you create lead lists. Now, what happens once you start saving them? They start showing up on your LinkedIn Sales Navigator homepage. So everything they share, that starts showing up there. So it's important that you create the right lead list. Now, what I see most people do, they just create a bunch of lead lists, without really any thought about it. But look upon it as a CRM system. What I've done is I've developed like 7 sort of different lead lists that I recommend that everybody creates. And once you go through like your accounts and your leads, and you see a lot of people, you want to look, you don't know that, but you kind of suspect that they may be interesting for you. So what you want to do is you want to save those people, and you create a lead list, and you call them suspects, or I don't know, I call them the usual suspects, but that's because I'm a bit movie buff. Then once you have those people saved in that list, you go through them. And you go through them one by one. You open their profile. You see if they're qualified or not. So you check them and you qualify them. If they're qualified, you put them in that list. If they're not, you remove them. So next step is that you start to reach out to them, start contacting them. Now, there's 2 options. You can send an email, or you can send a connection request. What do I recommend? Absolutely a connection request. Emails typically do not work because there's like a red flag coming into your LinkedIn inbox of something. Oh no, 98% of the inbox of the messages that you receive, the emails that you receive, are spam. Or recruiters, trying to get you to change jobs or something like that. It's never something giving. So send a connection request, but keep it short. Put in, add a personal message, but keep it short. And then you move that lead to the next lead, which is contacted leads. Now, they may accept your connection request, but they may not respond to that. So you may want to make sure that you follow up with them. And once they start responding to you, make sure that you keep giving. Then you move them to the next list, and that's in conversation. So because the conversion is in the conversation, literally. The conversion is in the conversation. If you look at the word conversation and you remove the letters AT, you're left with conversion. So really, that's where you want to go. So now, once you start negotiating it, you take them off of LinkedIn, just like Fran said. You remove them from LinkedIn. You take them off of it because you do not sell on LinkedIn. So you get them by email, by phone, by online chat, or coffee, or whatever, and then you move them towards the next list under proposal once they start talking to you. Now, if they made a decision to go with you, then that's great. If they didn't, you put them into the next list. So you put them into nurturing. So you have a list for nurture, for decision makers, and a nurture for champions. So you move them there. So you have those lists ready for you, and then you start following those lists. So every day you just open those lead lists, and you check what's going on in those lead lists, and then you move, and that'll take you 15 to 30 minutes, because you make sure you don't follow like 1,000 people on there, because you're going to be overwhelmed and you're going to hate the tool. And then you're going to blame the tool for not bringing you business. So that doesn't work out. So this is like how did I do in 10 minutes? Like a mini crash course in sales.
Yeah, Perry, there's a couple of things I'd like to ask you. And if anybody wants to ask questions, Perry, any questions on the Sales Navigator, just raise your hands and I'll start bringing you up. But anyway, there's a few questions I'd like to ask you. First, so these lists, you're recommending to create them on inside of Sales Navigator. So you kind of treat Sales Navigator like a CRM, right?
Yeah, except it's not going to guide you through from one step to the next. The CRM does that nicely. Now, if you work in a big enterprise and you have Sales Navigator Advanced Plus, and it's linked to your Microsoft Dynamics or your Salesforce or now HubSpot Pro, then of course if you link, that's great, because then it talks to each other. Then you don't need to create those lead lists per se. But otherwise, yeah, it kind of works like a CRM system.
Okay. Another question I wanted to ask you, Perry. Do you recommend, like, before you actually start sending the connection request, so you engage with people in their comments, in their content, right? Would you do that if
Yes.
they're content creators? And actually, I noticed that on Sales Navigator, there's an option. Now, I don't know if it's new or not, but there's an option for created content recently or posted recently, something like this.
Yes, posted recently. That's absolutely, that's been there since the start, and it's a very
All right.
valuable tool, because when I that's when I filter for usually first. So because you want to engage with those people who are active on the platform. It's
Exactly.
they're the easiest to talk to, because people who are active on the platform, they're also more likely to accept your connection request because they're used to LinkedIn. So it's easier to talk to them with those. Do I recommend that you comment on their post first? Yeah, absolutely. Or use it and reach out to them. Say, hey, you just like them, and then you send them a connection request. Hey, I noticed your post about this and really enjoyed it, and then you ask a question. Always ask a question if you
Yeah,
can.
their content is a
So
good conversation starter, isn't it?
yes, absolutely. Now, if they haven't posted anything, here's another tip: check what that company is posting, and use that as a sort of to leverage, connection requests. So
I have two people raising their hands, so I'm gonna, if you're ready, I'm gonna bring one up to ask
absolutely
a question. Let's go, Alexander.
Oh, hi, how are you guys doing?
Good,
correct.
good. How are you?
Brilliant. I'm just out on a walk, so I hope my connection is okay and you can hear me. But basically, so just two questions for you, Perry. First one is, so I was researching into Navigator and thinking about starting to use it. And I understand that you can, search for leads quite well, but I didn't know that you get like a customized feed. How does that look like?
Okay, you mean the smart link, right? Okay.
Yeah, so if you said if I pick make a list of leads, then I'll only see their content. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct. You only see their content. So what used to be is that if you opened your homepage, you would see all of the content of all of the people that you saved. But now you can say, okay, I only want to see the updates from this specific lead list. So say you, for example, you want to create a lead list. Say you're organizing an event, like we organized an event LinkedIn time last year, and you've invited the people there, and you know who's coming. What you can do is you can create a separate lead list from all the people that are coming, and every day you just go there and you check and you engage with whatever they're posting or whatever their companies are posting, which is great as well. And then so they'll embrace you when you walk into that event. So yeah, great
That
question.
sounds like that alone is worth it.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
just to reduce the noise. I know with just premium you can like create a list of people, but it's not that good because it limits you to like 15 or 20 people, and then it crashes, and like you
Yeah.
always get spam from other sources as well. So
Yes.
that's
Yes.
brilliant. And the second question, sorry, I'm gonna pull you for a bit of knowledge already, if that's
Great.
okay.
Go for it.
So I watched a couple of videos. I watched some of your content on the Sales Navigator, so I get a good idea of what it looks like in terms of searching for your ICP. What, how would you search if you're targeting like a specific age group? Because I know that I don't think you can filter by age,
No.
obviously,
No.
because LinkedIn doesn't allow that. But would you say there's any technique to maybe get around it? Like, can you search for, I don't know, finished university recently or something like that?
Exactly. You can search for how much work experience they have. So definitely, so that's an option that you can select. But also maybe look at their interests. Maybe they're part of a group. I mean, people that love 80s music. That's people that are like me. So but so the chances that they will like those kind of topics. When they're younger. Techno music or maybe other kinds of topics that are more or recent, so you may want to look at LinkedIn groups as well. And there are really hundreds of thousands of LinkedIn groups on all kinds of subjects. But definitely look at work experience as well, and
So
don't know by
if
heart.
you'll allow me,
Yeah.
I can actually give my perspective on this, as I'm certified with the LinkedIn marketing certification, and actually
Hmm.
their own advice is the graduation year. So look into graduation year. They do say that yeah, you cannot target people by age, but look into, you can do that by graduation year. Even for advertising, you can do that.
Yeah, you
Oh,
can
I
do
had
that
no
for
idea. That's
advertising.
brilliant.
You can do that for advertising, but you can't do it in Sales Navigator. This
Oh,
is
okay, okay.
that's too bad. But what you can do is like I said, years of experience. I mean, I can do years of experience, less than 1 year, 1 to 2 years, 3 to 5 years, 6 to 10 years, and more than 10 years. So younger people, they're going to have less experience. So
Right.
you may want to select everybody from less than 1 year to up to 5 years. So those are the younger people. So that will definitely work for you. And will there be exceptions in there? Yes, there may be. But that could definitely work for you. So great question, by the way,
No,
Alexander.
that's great. I got my value out of this already. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna bring Nicholas up and for another question. If there's any more questions on this subject of Sales Navigator, just raise your hands, okay? Nicholas, how are you doing? You have to unmute yourself and whenever you're ready.
Sorry, I was on mute. Nice to meet you, Perry. It's really interesting event so far.
Great to meet you.
Likewise. I had a quick question. So, in my case, I've been targeting on Sales Navigator people that are in the C-suite, mainly because I'm doing B2B SaaS. In that case, I guess, how do you, when you're doing your outreach, you mentioned to start off with like looking for people in the comments and starting to engage that way. But do you recommend, because people at that level are generally, I guess, quite worried because people are always trying to sell them. Do you recommend like a different approach, like trying to go when you're targeting maybe people that are below the chain? And if so, how do you kind of eventually, I guess, open your way to power? And I know that might be a lot for
Hmm.
a
No, that's a
question,
great
but
question. That's a absolutely really great question, and it's something that a lot of people struggle with. If you're selling to C-suite, it's hard. Because they're wary and they're like, okay, what's this guy trying to say? So what does help, and you already gave the answer really, is connecting with champions in the organization, and I call them champions because they are your ambassadors almost within the organization. So look at people a level lower, or maybe even 2 levels lower, and start connecting with them. Start giving to them as well. Don't go there for the sale. Don't go there for the sale. It's just like that. Just start connecting with them. Start building a relationship with them. So when you do reach out to that CEO, he will see, hey, he's already connected with like 5 or 7 people in my organization. So people who have, especially people who have an influence on the buying decision, those are really important ones. They may not be the ones that are calling the shots, but they they may have an influence on the buying decision. So definitely want to link with those people. And so you build that environment. That's why I say, look for the accounts first, and within each account, find the right people, find the decision making unit, but also find champions. They could be anybody from the secretary to anybody in the organization. I remember this is in the 90s when I used to drive around Europe. I worked for a German company, but because I'm Dutch, I used to bring these sort of Dutch sort of cookies, stroopwafels for the Dutch listeners. And I would be in France, and I would give them not to the director that I was having a meeting. No, I would give them to the lady behind the reception. And whenever I would come back, I would give her, and she was like waiting for me. Oh, there, because it just works, because those people become your champions. And if
The
ever I
so-called
wanted something,
gatekeeper.
exactly, the gateway. Whenever I wanted something, I would call her. I wouldn't call him. I would call her. Say, hey, I'm going to be needing this and this. Who do I talk to within your organization? And she would put me in charge. She would make sure I would get my way. It just works, that's why I call them champions, because they are your champions. They will champion you within the organization.
Yeah,
well, that's very
peop
helpful. Thank you so much, Barry.
Oh,
yeah,
you're welcome. You're welcome, Nicholas.
most people forget that actually to get to that level of target leads, to target that person, you don't target that person directly. You have to target those who actually have direct contact with them. That's an amazing answer, Perry. Thank you very much. Nicholas, anything else
Yeah,
you'd like to add? to ask?
Maybe what I'd like to add to that is, people are so hungry for sales, and it's not always, and I understand that. I've been there. I've been in sales for more than 30 years. So here's the thing with Sales Navigator. Don't expect immediate results. I know so many people who say, oh, yeah, I'm going to try Sales Navigator for a month. And then after 30 days, they say, yeah, I've tried it a little bit, but it doesn't work. That's true. It will never work in 30 days. It won't, okay, you could have a lucky shot in there. But mainly, you need to try it at least for 3 months to start seeing results. And the same goes for LinkedIn. And, posting content on LinkedIn, commenting on LinkedIn. You need to invest at least 3 months to see incredible results, really. And the same goes for Sales Navigator. Go there every workday and spend some time there, at least 15 minutes to an hour. So to go there every day and engage with the people that you want to attract, right? So start giving. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just remove the idea of sales from your head and actually start to build the relationships with the people you are interested
Yeah.
in connecting
Exactly.
with. Eventually, if and that's the attraction part of it. If you have everything optimized on your end, sometimes it makes sense to have a lead magnet, sometimes it doesn't. But as long as your profile is talking about who you are, because that's always, we're in social media whether we want it or not, and the person is always going to to be visiting your profile to know more about you. It's almost like a business card is your profile, is your business card, right? So
Yeah.
Darren, do you wanna share something about, like, so now we're doing all of this. We've got Sales Navigator to help us hone in on the right leads, and we're just building that relationship. So I'm of the opinion that we should never try to sell, but we should have the systems in place that will attract them to us, and the profile again is the heart of that process on LinkedIn. So how do we set up a profile that makes them want to take the next step?
So first of all, is I always say you want to build a profile that presents you professionally and as an authority figure, and that doesn't matter whether you're a CEO, you're looking to make sales as product or service, or even if you're trying to be seen as a preferred candidate for a job by recruiters. So you always want to make sure it's presented professionally. And the reason, like, that includes like the banner really does matter, because that's the first thing that they see once they get to that profile. And if your banner is in what I call shit state, then anything that you're presenting as your business, prospects or potential clients are going to presume that if your business looks like that, that's how you're going to treat their business. So, like, just as an easy example, if I had, like, I do high performance profiles for businesses. Now, if my profile was a mess and my banner sucked and my copy was all over the place, it doesn't give a very good representation of our work. So you've got to make sure that how you present your business first is done right. When we do the profile, like I said, it starts with, if you're in comments, you've got things like a small part of your headline that is visible next to your profile photo when you do comments. It's not all of it. It's I don't know how many characters it is. I'll have to have a look, but it's a very, very small
I think
section
it's
of it. So you
around
need to make sure
around 76
so,
on computer, and it's less. I think Perry was the one who told me it's right 50 or something on mobile, right?
Yeah, or even less. It depends on the characters you're using, because an I is a lot smaller than a W, so it's
yeah.
not exactly the number of characters. So, but it is on and always assume mobile, because more than 70 to 80% of LinkedIn usage nowadays is mobile. So really focus on those first first like 30 to 50 characters. Really, that you make your impression there.
Yeah. Well, what we've done now, so we always say with the headline is try to grab the attention in the headline first, because obviously that's where most people are probably going to see you unless they go to your profile. Now, as an example, my headline is, if you want to boost sales, stop pushing traffic to a profile that won't convert. So every business wants to make more sales. So the first thing I've got in the first couple of words is boost sales. So that's the attention grabber in the headline. We see a lot of people say, I help X do Y through whatever. Well, that's okay, because you've got the ideal client listed in that title. But the problem with that is you're not listing an outcome. So with me, it's more sales. So people who want more sales are naturally going to come to my profile and say, well, how does this guy do more, increase sales or boost sales? So once you've done that, the first thing they see when they get to your profile is your banner. The banner then needs to have a clear headline, a statement, social proof, whatever it be. There's a huge array of what you can put in your banner, and then it wants to give a clear call to action. So like Fran said, we want to try and get them off the platform. So go to my featured section. At that point they go to the featured section. You've got like a lead magnet. The lead magnet gets their email address. Now you've got them off the platform. That easy, or if you don't have a lead magnet, you can always go to my featured section to book a call. They go down there, you get them onto Calendly, straight away they're in your calendar. So they're off the platform again. So it makes sense to try and do that as fast as possible. Now the about section is very good for SEO purposes and for clients who aren't quite sure they need what you offer, so they want to read a bit more. So that's your opportunity then to showcase what you do. People say, oh, you shouldn't talk about yourself in your about section. I think it's a load of bullshit, because when you go to, an example I always say is, if you go to McDonald's and you say, I'm starving, I'm hungry, give me something to eat, and they've got no menu up there, and they keep telling you, oh, we know you're hungry, you must get food, blah, blah, blah. All they're doing is pain point without giving a solution. And you're there, I know I'm hungry, I know this is why I'm here, give me some bloody food, what's on the menu? So in your about section, instead of having pain points, we tend to turn them into benefits of working with you. So to give you a quick example, we had a doctor who does a home medical service, and he'll come to your place of work. He's based in London, and he said, yeah, I want to hit these pain points. Are you tired of traveling to your GP? Are you fed up of waiting in waiting rooms and all this sort of stuff? And I was like, rather than say that, how about we go with, the benefits of working with me is I come to your location, so you've not got to travel to the GP. You get to skip the queue because there's no waiting room. If you don't want it to disturb your work, we can come to your workplace. So these become benefits rather than pain points. They are pain points, but you're turning them into a positive. So try to keep everything positive and keep all that stuff for the about section. But really, by the time you've done engagement, content, banner, featured section, they should already be sold at that point, ready to come off the platform.
Yeah, that's the point from a marketing strategy point of view. It's like it's a journey, right? So everything is a journey. There's a first point of contact that would be that comment or a piece of content of yours. That's the first time they see you. Then the second thing they see about you is your headline, which Darren was talking about, and those first few characters. Those first few characters, what are they going to do? They're gonna, that plus the whatever they saw of you, be it a comment or or a piece of content, that's going to, you want them to click to view your profile, right? So that's the next step. You want to bring them to your profile. So it's all a journey. That's the first step. Is like first part of your headline, get a click. Okay, they clicked in on your name. Now they're on your or on your profile, and now you wanna, again, the next step is now you wanna grab their attention with a banner. You wanna bring them off the platform. But as Darren said, if we just keep talking about pain points, that you were not considering the journey. So we have to consider where our prospect is at every step of the journey. So what was their state of mind when they found us first on the feed? What is their state of mind when they're visiting and reading our profile? And now there's a type of client, there's a profile of person who will want to read more. So there's a very low percentage of people who do read your about section, but there are those who do. This goes back to buyers profiles, the type of person who is reading it. Those who want to know more, by the time they get there, like Darren said very well, they don't need to be hit with more pain points. They need to, they have already passed that stage of the journey, and that's why they got to that point. So now you just want to bring them to the next step, which is what can you offer to make their lives a little bit easier, just a little bit easier. And this leads us back to, okay, now we have a lead. Either we got them to book a call or we got them to subscribe to our email list. Personally, I don't use book a call. You can't find a book a call anywhere in my profile. I do send a link to book a call with me or when you're already in my email list. So there's a bit more of a filtering process going on there, because I don't think either that people are ready when they're visiting my profile, that they're ready to commit their time and actually get on a call with me. Obviously, this works different for different types of people. If you're a big creator with 50,000 or 100,000 followers, you've leveraged more that authority side of things, so you can actually probably put a book a call and even charge straight away there. But that's a different aspect, and I'm guessing that most people listening are not on at that stage, right? So now this brings us back to Perry. That's one thing I wanted from Perry to know from Perry, and I'm sure that everybody wants to know as well, is all right, we've got that lead, we're on a call with the person, so we know they're interested from, like, if they followed my methods, they downloaded the lead magnet, disqualifies them because that lead magnet is aligned with their offer. So this is qualifying now the person to know that th- they're interested in what we do one way or another. Now we have them on the call, or we have them on the next step, closing a sale. That's what I wanted to know from you, Perry, and I know you're an expert at that, and I'm just gonna leave it open like
It's
this.
that, that's a great question, and that's exactly where you need to sort of really suppress the urge to jump on that sale, to really start selling. When people download my LinkedIn profile cheat sheet, which I just done, we did it completely new, focused on sales professionals. A lot of people have been downloading it, and what I do is I follow up with them, saying, hey, I hope you had a chance to go through it, and let me know what specific point you were looking at, or you were struggling with. Happy to help. And typically they answer, no, I'm okay, or something. Well, and then I'll follow up and say, hey, if you want, I offer a free 10-minute call, and happy to jump on. And quite a few people do that. And so what you want is, you don't want to sell on LinkedIn. So you don't want to say, okay, so I've got this offer for this training. You don't want to do that on LinkedIn. You want to do that, face to face, when you're actually talking to them, either by email, but preferably, of course, when you're talking to them face to face, maybe on the phone, or audio, but or even better, of course, is over coffee, and sometimes digital coffee, but definitely. So you want to take them off of LinkedIn. That should be your number one goal. So really, the steps are simple. It really is simple. When you find a lead, your first goal is not to make the sale. Your first goal is to make the connection. It's not even a conversation. It's to make the connection. So when you send out the connection request, forget everything else. Your only goal is to make that connection. The second part is to make that conversation, to get into conversation, to get that person to comment on whatever it is that you're sending, you're giving, and get a reaction, get a response. Like I said, the conversion is in the conversation. So once you start getting that conversation, that's when you take the next step, and the next step is to get them off of LinkedIn to your preferred method. And that could be an online call, could be that you have to visit them, and it also depends on what you're selling. Maybe if you're selling a low tier product, maybe it's offering them something through email. So instead signing them up to your email list, it could be that too. Email newsletter. So especially those people that are unwilling to jump on a call with you. Maybe you want to get them, I offer a weekly newsletter, and summarizing this and this and this every week, and if you'd like, I can send you the link to sign up, something like that. So but so you filter that out, but get them off of LinkedIn. So don't take those steps. Connection first, conversation second, and then off of LinkedIn. Really off of LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a networking platform. It's not a sales platform.
Yeah, I completely agree with that, and that's the work we've been doing with Darren. It's basically bring them off the platform, bring them to an email list. That email list then does the follow up on its own. So this is an automated process, and the sale is done there. But we're talking about a low ticket product as well. We're not selling services. We're not selling anything high ticket as well. So it's like you said, it depends on what you're selling. But where I wanted to get from you actually, Perry, is we're on a call now. Now I'm on a call with you, and I want to sell you my services. I know you're interested. I already know that part. Where is the moment where you actually close the sale? Like where, so we're talking. I know you're interested in my services, and how do where do I make my offer and how?
Well, that's a tough one. I mean, that's the unique part of sales, and that's why That's why I love sales so much, because there is no cookie cutter answer. That's what people are always looking for. So what's the formula? What's the script that I can use? It doesn't exist. It's empathy. Basically, it's empathy. You need to feel the situation and really start. Where's the need of this person? How can I add value? My definition of sales is the exchange of value to enhance value. So you're exchanging value. You're getting money so that you have a better life, and then in return, you're giving that person something to enhance their lives. So you're growing together. So look for that opportunity to grow together. And once you spot that opportunity, that's when you can offer the sale. Say, hey, let's do this together, because So if you don't, then you're just in it for the short term. If you're in it for the long run, you're creating ambassadors. And most of my customers come through existing customers or the people on LinkedIn, that I've been helping. That helps. That's tremendous as well. So I build up a relationship with them, and I start giving them value. I start giving them advice. I start helping them. And then suddenly, I have people in my email inbox, say, hey, I just spoke to so and so, and we were looking at doing more with LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Can we have a conversation? Never talk to the person on LinkedIn ever, and then and we're talking business.
Absolutely. Yeah,
So
yeah.
create ambassadors. So
I love that. I
hope
love
that
that
answers your question a
approach.
bit of it.
Yeah, yeah, no, I love that approach. That's how I work as well. I'm not a sales guy, I'm a marketing guy, and a lot of people get those confused, but that's the difference. Like, marketing is the process before the sale. So that's why I was asking for your yeah,
Fran,
tell me.
can I interrupt you there?
Sure.
You're married, right?
Yes.
Okay. So when you met your wife, did you sell yourself to her, or did she sell yourself to you?
No,
So
I
so
attracted her the same way I do with marketing. I didn't sell at all.
yeah, you put your best foot forward to make sure that she liked you. So we're all in sales every single day, whether it's when you sign into a hotel and you want to make sure that you have the best room, and you do that with a smile. And if you don't, you're it just works like that. We're all in sales. Everybody is in sales, and you just need to adopt that mentality. But sales is not a dirty word. I shared a post on that a couple of days ago. 97% of the people don't trust salespeople, and that's because it has this sort of negative connotation, but it's not negative at all, because you're actually helping improve the life of somebody else.
No,
Um,
you raise a
if you have
very
that
important
mindset,
point there, Perry. This is paramount, because actually, when you sell, you're actually helping them as well, getting value from what you're giving. And I see this a lot, because with lead magnets and with all this work, like, I'm all about giving stuff for free, but I've also seen repeatedly that when you give something for free, people don't take the value out of it. And actually, Alex Hormozy speaks a lot about this, and he has an interesting case study that was done in one of his books. There was, like, people, they did an experiment where they put three different wines, and they gave people to try the wines, and they were like, they were trying the very cheap wine and the medium wine and the very expensive wine. And obviously the results were to what was expected. The most expensive wine was the one that people loved the most. It was incredible. It was the results was just to be expected. But when they removed the labels, it was all the same wine. So it was just perception, it was just because people thought it was more expensive. They actually value it more, so they take more value out of it as well, especially when it's learning, when it's something information wise. So if you pay attention. We've already heard this one before as well. Are there any questions? Anybody wants to ask any question to Perry or to one of us? We do have one. Ayelet, Perry, you want to add something before I bring Ayelet to
no,
speak?
no, no. I think that was perfect.
All right, let's go. And sorry, Darren, do you want do you want to add something?
No, I'm good, mate. I'm absolutely fine. So we'll get a lot
All
on.
right, let's go. I hope I'm not killing your
Hi,
name and
everyone.
assassinating your name, Ayelet. Is that okay?
No, no, you actually made it perfect.
All right.
Thank you.
Ha-
Thank you for having me. I have a question for Perry. Perry, I understand the importance and the benefits of Sales Navigator, My question is, from searching your ICP perspective, if you compare the Sales Navigator to efficient Boolean search, does it really worth purchasing the Sales Navigator?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. And you can do quite a bit with the Boolean search within LinkedIn itself, but there's a lot you can't do. Like filter on people who changed jobs in the past 90 days, filter on people following your company, filter on who posted on LinkedIn in the past 30 days. It just speeds up that process so much more. So I highly recommend, because and if you look at it like that, yes, it's about $100 a month, so, and that's like, wow, that's a lot of money. True. But if that can save you half an hour a day, that's 10 hours a month. That's more than a full workday. So I don't know how much you charge, or people charge, but if you think about that, how much would 10 hours a month cost? And if you could get that back, and what could you do in those 10 hours? If you could use those 10 hours to actually talk to prospects and clients, wow, So I definitely think it's worth it. And my recommendation is always, it's twofold. First of all, try it for at least 3 months. Get the free month, because LinkedIn offers a free month, and then sign up for another 2 months. So don't take the yearly account, because then you hit for a full year. Yes, you save a little bit, of course, but if you want to stop it, then you can always change that later anyway. So you try it for 3 months and then do it every single day. Also, if you're going to go for it, don't go for the core version. Upgrade to the advanced version for a couple of reasons. The most important ones are, there's two reasons basically. It's smart links. One of them is, so smart links are basically, you can upload a PDF like a lead magnet. And what you will see is, if I share my lead magnet there, for example, I shared my lead magnet with the LinkedIn profile cheat sheet for sales professionals there, and I noticed that quite a few have been looking at it just now, so which is nice. So, because I get notifications. I get a notification on my phone when somebody's looking at it, and I get an email from LinkedIn saying, "Hey, this person is looking," and then I can go and see how long has that person been looking at that document. Also, how many seconds on what page. Same with the video. I can upload a video up to 30 minutes and share it there, and then LinkedIn will tell me how long they've been looking at that video, which is just phenomenal. Because you're really qualified. They are qualifying themselves, by going through that. So the more they look at that, the more serious they are. It's the same with, I have the first chapter of my book, LinkedIn Sales Navigator for Dummies, is up there. The people are looking at that, and are seriously looking at that. I know they're doing something with Sales Navigator, so they're qualifying themselves, for me. So that's such an important tool. And the same way, if you create your offer, if you create an offer for a customer, you talk to a customer, you've written a proposal, put it in Smart Links, and you send the link. Then you know exactly how long they're looking at it. If they're sharing it with other people in the organization, you can see who else is in the buying decision, in the decision making unit. So that's important. That's one, smart links. Two, and that's really new, it's account IQ. If you're targeting companies that have 500 or more employees, now LinkedIn has integrated AI on the account page, and you click on it, and what you get to see is you get so much information. Like, pull up an example here. Let's see, accounts.
The smart links are really powerful.
Yes. So
The smart links are
what I
really
have,
powerful. I need to start using them myself. I haven't looked at them at all. But
yeah,
you
smart
said
links
not
is so
everybody
powerful.
has access to them, you said, Perry?
No, only if you upgrade to the advanced version. So if you have the core version, you don't have the smart links. But if you upgrade to advanced, then you get smart links, and it's just such a phenomenal tool.
Okay.
You will if once you discover it, you're like, why didn't I upgrade earlier? Really. So account IQ. So the first one is, how does this company make money? So LinkedIn then does a search using AI, and it says what sources it's from. So how does this company make money? What are their strategic priorities? So I have an example here. This company's strategic priorities are expansion, innovation, sustainability, and ESG, homegrown brands. What are their business challenges? Store
Wow,
expansion and
that's
brand growth.
powerful.
It's just, and then the competitive landscape. So who are they competing with? And it shows you exactly the sources. Also the headcount insights. I can see here, this company has grown, in operations 12%, in sales by 9%, marketing 5%, business development 14%. So they're growing rapidly. So, this is such useful information that you can do so much with. What if you reach out to the CEO, and you talk about their strategic priority and their business challenges? When you start conversing, when you start having conversations with them, they're like, whoa, why didn't I know you earlier? You understand where we're coming from. So this is so powerful.
That's really powerful data there.
Okay.
Does that answer your question, Eilert?
Yes, absolutely. And I do have one more question. I forgot to mention that currently I'm in the premium business program. So what does it mean if I want to upgrade to Sales Navigator and then I regret after a few months I want to return to business because I know there might be a problem?
Okay, so you have LinkedIn Business Premium. Personally, I think Business Premium is very overpriced because you get a few extra benefits, but if you look at the price difference between Business Premium and Sales Navigator, it's not that much. But the difference that you're getting is huge. It's just phenomenal. Now, the only thing that you don't get when you upgrade to LinkedIn Sales Navigator Advanced is you lose LinkedIn Learning, which is a really nice tool. Do you use LinkedIn Learning, Ayelet?
I do. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you upgrade to Sales Navigator Core, which is really strange, with Core you still get LinkedIn Learning, but when you upgrade to Advanced, you lose LinkedIn Learning. Never made sense to me, but for some reason,
Unbelievable.
Doesn't make any
so
sense.
then you need to. It doesn't make any sense at all. But that's I didn't make those rules. But LinkedIn Learning is great, and then so Business Premium, so you get a few. One really nice thing that you had with Business Premium for a couple of months was that if you go to your own profile page, your services will be displayed, with images and everything. But LinkedIn's now offer that to everybody who has Premium. So also I have it now. So that's gone as well. So I think Business Premium will disappear, probably in less than a year, or will be toned down to offer something, in line with the pricing level of the job seeker account, So, and it will just offer, that who viewed my profile in the past, 90 days, or actually it's 365 days now. So you can check that now.
I see. Thank you for your insightful answer. And congrats, you are the perfect and the most official ambassador of Sales Navigator. Thank you so much, Terry.
He wrote the book on
Thank
it.
you for having me. Thank you.
Thank you. But I didn't write the book for you. Obviously, you're a LinkedIn expert, I just noticed. So this book was written for dummies. So no, it wasn't written for you.
You can learn from anyone.
Absolutely. I agree.
Thank you so much.
All right. So
thank you for hosting this event. Thank you.
Thank you, Ayelet. So we have another question from Alexander. Although I have seen Wasim raising his hand a few times, I don't know if you have to leave your hand up if you want us to bring you up to ask a question. So if you do, just raise your hand again and leave it up, please. And I'm gonna bring Alexander now to ask his question. If anybody has any other questions, please raise your hands. I don't know how Perry is on time. We're past the 1 hour mark, but for me, we've always done this. We'll keep going as long as people want to ask questions and want to talk.
I have a client meeting in just over an hour, so then I'll need to jump off, but I'm sure we're going to be finishing by then, right?
Yeah, definitely.
I hope so.
For sure. Alexander, go ahead.
Okay. Very quickly before you guys jump off, I'm gonna get like $2,000 worth of value from this probably today. One more for Perry and another one for Fran. So Perry, the smart links, that's great mention. Thank you for that. Is that only for files, or does that work with like links sending someone to an external website, for example?
Yeah, it works for, you can upload links, you can upload videos up to 30 minutes, maximum 200 MB, and PDFs. So personally, I think PDFs work best, but you can include a link as well. But what I notice is that if you do a link, some people get annoyed with that, because then you send them to a link and then they have to click another link to go to that page. So and it doesn't really portray it that perfectly. So
friction.
now, Smart links, yeah, exactly. You're offering additional friction, which isn't great. So it does work, but personally, I prefer using PDFs there. Smart links is actually a tool that LinkedIn bought a company a number of years ago, about 4 or 5 years ago, called Point Drive. And Point Drive was exactly what this tool. So Point Drive was phenomenal. So it was like this, like Smart links, except that you could also put a password on documents, for example, or you could put an expiration date on documents. So LinkedIn then sort of, if you read my book, I'm talking about Point Drive, all of it. And then LinkedIn removed Point Drive and they introduced Smart Links, with a big bang bang and hoo-ha, and like, whoa, we're now introducing Smart Links. And I was like, yeah, great. But then they removed some really cool features like putting a password on a document, which is fantastic, or an expiration date, really cool as well. So yeah, so that. But the Smart Links, yeah, you'll love it.
No, that's absolutely fabulous. Thank you so much. And quick one for Fran, if that's okay. That's slightly off the topic of Navigator, but you've mentioned about setting up your profile to really screen people through. What's your opinion on doing that for a smaller profile that's fairly new and hasn't got a lot of authority? Would you include something like the scorecard, score up, for example, as a questionnaire to really like give people some value, but really screen them through before a call, for example?
What scorecard did you mean, Alexander?
Score up. Have you not used it before?
No, I haven't.
So it's really just like you can build like a really thorough questionnaire that gives people some insights at the end of it, so they like you
Oh,
can
right.
pre-qualify people and they get some
That's
extra
interesting.
insights, and at the end they can book a call and things like that.
That's really interesting because I do have two of those tools. Actually, you can find them on my profile. One gives you a score of how attractive is your LinkedIn activity to leads, and the other one actually points out your marketing, where your marketing should be focused at the moment. So it's based on that. I don't use that tool. I use a different tool, but yeah. So on your question,
Yeah, sounds like the
uh,
basically same thing. Sorry.
yeah, no, absolutely. So on your question, the smaller the account, the more, this is my opinion, the more, and I will ask Darren to comment on this one as well. The smaller the account, the more you should focus on your profile. Because let's see, if I visit Perry's profile, Perry has 30,000 followers. So that on its own speaks for him. It gives him a lot of authority. If you visit my account, I don't know how many I have at the moment, but it's 1,800 something followers, right? So that does not speak for me as much as the 30,000 followers speak for Perry. So my account should be doing all the talk. And then when I offer, and that's what I do offer those tools to give more value, as you're saying, Alexander. My tools are completely ungated, so you can use them at will. Then I can deliver more if you subscribe, but you still get the results ungated. So I'm all about giving first, give as much as you can. And the way the reasoning for me to why I conceived these tools was I can give away some of my knowledge without giving my time, So I don't have to be compromising my time, but I can give away some of my knowledge to those who want. So that's how I position my profile on LinkedIn, and and all the profile is pointing into that direction, so that the journey should always be respected. Think about where the person who's visiting your profile, what's their mindset at the moment, where are they in their journey, in their personal journey, because everybody's in a journey of transformation. They want to go from point A to point B, and at the moment they're visiting my profile. Where are they? I'm a marketing strategist. What am I offer? What should I offer them next to help them in this journey? On this aspect, I'll let Darren give his opinion because Darren is the profile expert.
Hi, Wasim. I'm on your profile now,
It's Alexander
and I
still.
see that your business.
Wasim is next. Sorry.
Oh, is he? Is that
Uh,
Alex? Is it speaking
yeah,
now?
it's Alex. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wasim is next. I'm
Oh, is it
gonna bring him
Alex?
on.
Sorry, mate.
Yeah.
How you doing, mate? Yeah. So yeah, in terms of the profile, mate, if you're small profile, you need to be very clear. Again, it's always going to be trying to establish authority with a small following. like Fran said, the bigger following you get, the easier it is to have that authority. Now, like you could have like someone like Richard Vanderblom now, he could go and put a post out that's completely unrelated to his offer and still get a ton of, potentially leads, engagement, and all sorts because he's built that authority. So it's making sure that you get everything very strongly aligned and very clear on what you're doing at the moment. I know we spoke quite a lot of me recently as well.
No, that's great. Yeah, thank you so much. And Fran, it's great to hear actually your opinion on that, because so many, like I said, so many of those other people, like you said, they have huge accounts. So what works for them doesn't necessarily work for us.
Exactly. Yeah. It's you have to have a different approach always.
Also, you might need to boot me out of the room because my phone just froze and my battery is about to go in about
Okay.
2 minutes.
All right. Thanks for
Thank you so much, guys.
thanks for coming, Alex.
Thanks for your contributions, Alex.
I'm gonna bring Wasim up now. If there are any other questions, just start raising your hands now so we know before we start saying goodbye. Wasim, I put you up. Yeah, there we go. You have to unmute yourself and ask your question.
Okay, yeah. Hi there, everyone. Yeah,
Hey.
this was a very helpful presentation. I'm just still sort of getting my way around LinkedIn, and obviously what Alexandra said as well was quite relevant in that people with those with massive followings are much easier to get traction on their posts and connections. But my question is really that Sales Navigator, while it's an excellent tool, it doesn't actually provide email addresses for people to set. It's basically a contact list within Sales Navigator themselves, within LinkedIn anyway, and therefore you still need to have another form of contact with those people in order to get further details from them regarding email addresses.
Yeah.
So
do you want to? Yeah.
I don't know if that's the question or if he wants to raise a specific question.
Basically the question is obviously that Sales Navigator is just really a platform for LinkedIn, and you would obviously need to do more work with those connections in order to get further information out of them regarding their full contact details.
Oh, absolutely. So it's not like you're buying a database of email addresses, but that's for cold outreach.
Yeah.
It's the opposite. What you're basically doing is you're warming up your leads using Sales Navigator. So you're establishing connection, you're establishing contact, and you're warming those leads in the conversation, building a relationship so that you have permission to sell them. And that you take them off of LinkedIn. And when you ask, I do it all the time. I say, okay, so for example, with the smart links, I have the profile cheat sheet I talked about, and then I have an advanced profile cheat sheet as well. And I often send them a message, say, hey, I noticed you checked out my profile cheat sheet. I have an advanced version, which is a few more points, but it's all on one page. To what email address can I send that? And so many people then send me their email address, and then I start. So I take them off of LinkedIn. I put them in the right lead list, of course, in Sales Navigator, and then I take them off from LinkedIn, and then I make sure that I can follow up with them by email, saying, so did you get a chance? Well, and then I start having conversations there. So by asking that question and asking for permission, so basically they give you their email address. So that's very helpful. So now, if you do reach out to some people, Wasim, and I don't want to put you on the spot here, but I just checked out your profile, and it may be an oversight on but your profile picture is currently hidden. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. No.
Okay, so it happens a lot. So if you're starting to reach out to people, then and they're not seeing a profile picture, they're like, why are you even reaching out to me? Why are you hiding yourself?
Okay, all right. I wasn't aware of that. Okay.
Well, there's a lot of people have that, and then no, my pleasure. So just click on your profile picture, and it's probably not set to public, and make sure your profile picture is set to public. And it makes such a big difference for a lot of people. So yeah.
Yeah, we can't see your picture.
Oh, you're quite welcome. My pleasure.
Yeah, exactly. We can't see your picture here, Wasim. Yeah. So that's exactly what Perry said, and like we mentioned before, both Perry and myself, the objective is always to move them off of LinkedIn. So this is just where the conversation starts, but the conversation is going to happen somewhere else. That's always the objective. Always start by giving. Start by giving. Give something, like Perry mentioned. So I'm bringing Ayesha up so she can ask her question. If there are any more questions, again, raise your hand and leave it up, please. Go ahead, Ayesha. How
Hello,
are, how are you
can you
doing?
hear me? Hello.
Yes, yes.
Hey, I'm fine. How are you guys?
Great.
All
Great.
good, cheers.
Nice to meet you.
Same here, and thank you. You've provided so much value today, and I kind of joined a bit late, and I am regretting that already. I have a quick question for you guys. Like, I have 15 years of experience in my field, and I started actively posting out content on LinkedIn since somewhere last year, but I haven't had much luck. I mean, is it something that I'm doing wrong? Is it something that I'm missing here? I have feedback, like verified feedback on my Upwork profile to prove that what I'm doing is worth the time and the money that I'm asking for, right? But I somehow don't get, like, I can't close leads on LinkedIn. I've got like good good luck on Facebook, but not here. So I'm wondering what I'm doing wrong. If somebody could take a look and guide me or point me.
Okay.
I'll quickly jump in there just quickly, Perry. Is that all right?
Yes,
Because
please. Yes, please. Please do.
yeah, sorry, Perry. So Perry and me both use the same content strategist. So there's a guy called Arsam. He's actually starting up with me again next week. And that guy is insane for driving traffic. He's actually going to be on one of our calls in the next week or two.
2 weeks, yeah.
You said that you are having a hard time with getting engagement or traffic from your content.
Right.
And something that when I started working with Arsam last year, my content to me personally became very boring because you're constantly repeating the same thing over and over again within the same topic or niche or whatever it be. But what you end up doing over time, you start to attract the people that are interested in that particular topic. So although it sounds boring to us because we're posting the same stuff over and over again, like banners, before and after shots, profile optimization, keyword optimization, you're always talking about profiles. It's important that that's always aligned with what you do and what your profile's doing. So what happens at that point, over time, you eventually build your tribe of followers that are interested in that particular topic. So hopefully that helps a little bit, but keep an eye out for the call next week with Arsam.
It's in 2 weeks.
The link later too as well.
In 2 weeks from now.
In 2 weeks. Yeah.
Next week we're gonna have. You wanna
Audrey
actually? Yeah, take advantage.
Audrey Chia, yeah.
She's an AI girl, marketing with AI. I'll let Darren actually introduce her straight away. So everybody, if you want to tune in next week, we do this every week in case you're not aware. Every Friday, same time. So Darren, you wanna?
Yeah, well, I'll let Perry just answer the rest of this question in case
Oh,
we
yeah,
miss question.
Yeah.
Actually, I have also a comment for Ayesha as an answer because I was visiting her profile, but I'll let Perry go first.
It's basically jumping on, yes, content is important, but I noticed you have just over 200 connections and you just under 400 followers. So that ratio is good. The ratio is good. It's just too small. So, so what I would recommend that you start doing, content is great, but I call it, your strategy. If your profile is good, your next strategy should be twofold. It's sharing and caring. So sharing means sharing content. Caring means commenting on other people's posts. Now, people get this wrong completely all the time. People think it should be about 80% sharing content and a little bit of commenting somewhere. It's the other way around. 80% should be commenting, especially if you're starting out. You just should find everybody who's and you're targeting female leaders. They can be found. There's many on LinkedIn. And you start commenting on this, start adding value, start asking questions. If somebody's written an inspiring post about female leadership, my sisters, for example, she's in Turkey right now, with a group of 120 female leaders, so there will be posts about that. So find posts like that, and if you just summarize those posts in like 3 lines, so what you're saying here is this. Have I summarized this correctly? So you start engaging with them, tag them in in that post as well. So start engaging with them. They will start seeing you. They will start connecting with you. And the people that follow those leaders will start reaching out to you as well. They'll start checking out your profile, saying, "Hey, you reached out to my, check out my profile. Were you just here for the content, or is there something specific? So you start connecting, and it starts to grow fast if you start doing that on a daily basis. It's all about consistency.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
a while I was doing this on daily basis as well, but I guess my mistake was that I was like connecting with like bigger creators like Justin Welsh and Yasmin Alish, big people, but not the female leaders that I'm actually targeting myself. I guess that's where I went wrong.
Yeah.
I should be
Well, Leah
like,
Turner actually, I think Leah Turner grew a lot of her initial following through comments. She didn't post; she was very shy. I don't know if you know Leah Turner, but
I
she
do. I follow her, and
yeah.
I do interact with her
Yeah.
posts as well.
So
Yeah.
let me give
Because
you
I
a.
remember her saying about that.
Sorry.
The funny part is like I do like LinkedIn ghostwriting for C-suite executives, 2 or 3 of them, like very famous people, like up in their fields, and I've gotten like pretty good results for them. And the funny part is it's the same person. I'm doing that for myself on my profile, and I'm not gaining traction. So that's the
Yeah.
thing.
Ayesha, I was having a look at your profile, and that's exactly where you're going wrong. Is the commenting part of it. So for every post you publish, you should be
Uh-huh.
commenting on a lot of accounts. So every day. So if you post daily, for example, what
Mm-hmm.
distributes your content on LinkedIn, this is specific to LinkedIn, is the commenting on other
Uh-huh.
accounts, and especially at the
Right.
size of your profile right now, at the amount of following you have, you need to be interacting a lot with smaller accounts of the same size, right? So this is what's
Right.
going to bring, like, you are going to depend now a lot on the on that effect, networking effect of people wanting to give back to you. So when we interact with smaller accounts, they will start to want to comment on your content as well. Obviously, you need to make sure that the
Right.
content is good. I didn't take my time to read your content specifically, but I noticed that you had comments one day ago, 6 days ago, so they're very spaced out. You should be
Yes.
commenting at least in 20, 30 accounts in the beginning to get the ball rolling.
Yeah.
Thank you so
I,
much. I guess I've
one
pinpointed my mistake. Yeah,
one final
it's
comment I wanted to make, Aisha,
please.
is that I had a client who was also very sort of shy but hesitant to share content, and he was like, I don't feel confident about that. So I said, okay,
Uh-huh.
let's work on your commenting strategy, your caring strategy. And so we worked out and he was doing this 30 minutes every day. And after a
Right.
week, he had 1,700% more profile views.
Nice.
1,700%. I mean,
Uh-huh.
that's it just blew up because he was commenting on the right people, asking questions, engaging with them, and
Right.
getting people to his profile. So you can,
But they've
and
got to be
if you're
quality
for
comments.
executives, then
Yeah.
then you know what to post. So that's good.
That's the point. Like, I've increased their following, the amount of interaction and engagement they're actually getting leads out of it. And I'm getting crickets. So that's kind of frustrating. That's the
The hard
problem.
part you're going to get, Aisha, is the fact that you're a ghostwriter. This is the problem we see. So I did a white label service for profiles for a while, and the problem with
Right.
that is you're not getting the recommendations, you can't get referrals because you're a
Exactly.
ghostwriter,
Exactly. It's
and
it's it's
that's a
something
problem.
where you have to keep their secret, and you can't even tell that this is the profile that I work for, right? It's a tough
Yeah, and
tough spot. Yeah.
that makes it very hard because you can't even use that in a portfolio.
Yes. Yeah, yeah, that's the point. That's the whole thing. And like I have a corporate background. I was on Upwork's marketing team for 4 years, for crying out loud. So I know how things work, but somehow they're not working for me.
Yeah,
But I
yeah.
get the thing. That the thing I'm doing wrong on LinkedIn is that I need to like interact with smaller accounts, because I was interacting with the bigger accounts and I was getting a lot of comments and likes on those comments of mine, but they wouldn't translate into leads coming to me or something like that. So
Y-
that's where I'm going wrong, I think.
Use the big accounts to hone in on your target audience as well, because find big
Hmm.
accounts that have the audience that you want, and then the people commenting on those posts, they are the accounts you want to target.
Right, right. That is such huge help. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
So
And can I just say one thing, Wasim? I'm
Please.
glad you're sharing your profile picture now because you're a good-looking dude, man. So
All right. We have another question from Aska Feroz. I'm gonna bring Aska up here. We still, we're all still here. We're happy to stay for a little longer. If anybody has any more questions, just go ahead and raise your hands.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hello, how are you doing?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, that's an incredible session. I joined when you were talking about like smart links. I do have a question. It's little off topic. It's more about like I am doing personal branding for leadership brands and I am getting like traction, everything. My business is going good. But I am also working with my profile. My most of the work is for women empowerment. But after getting like 20,000 followers, I am confused on which direction I should go because women empowerment or this is like my mission. This is not something my business revolves around. So should I include both of things from now on in my profile because when I started I was doing both of things but now they are like completely different things. I am electrical engineer so my one audience is totally technical people and the other audience is like people who are inspired by me. So what should I do? Should I stick to one thing and use another platform for my other thing? So that's really confusing me from like last 2 to 3 months, and I am confused like what should I post now? It's more related to my business oriented post, or it should be on my goal oriented post.
Yeah, I don't know if any of you
Business,
guys
I'd
want
say.
to give an opinion on that
Yeah.
one, but from marketing strategy, the answer is very simple. One thing only. So if you want to do two things, you need two different accounts, two different platforms, but one thing only. Never confuse your prospects.
I agree.
The
There's
thing is,
one.
they are not.
Yeah, you can't have two LinkedIn accounts. You don't have two LinkedIn accounts. That's
Yeah, uh,
that's very confusing for your clients. Plus, it's not allowed by LinkedIn, and I think you work for LinkedIn, so that's
yeah,
so you don't want to go there.
yeah,
So what I tend to say to those people is try to see if you can find if you take a helicopter view. If you go a level up, what do those two things have in common? And maybe you can find that. If you say, yeah, I sell like tiramisu and I sell trifle. Those are they're different products. One I'm selling tiramisu and the other one is trifle. But they're both desserts. So if you can go a level up and
yeah.
and find that sort of common ground between the two things that you can offer, that raises you as well to a higher level, and it puts you in a more leadership position as well, especially with your 20,000 followers. So if you can find that, I mean, it's hard. You'll need to discuss that with some marketing geniuses, and I would recommend talking to Fran about that. Really would. But if you can find that common ground, poof, you make a big impact on LinkedIn.
Darren, you wanted to say something about this?
Okay. Is it great to like
I was just going to say
create a?
one thing.
Sorry,
Yeah, I was just going to say, like Fran said, just focus
sorry.
on one. Like Fran said, just focus on one thing. And like Perry said, if you can house it underneath a bigger umbrella, then you market that upper level rather than the two individual topics.
Okay, this was like working for me. Like the thing Perry identified, I was doing the same thing. Like I established myself as a leader that is helping women. So that was working for me up till now. But now my business audience is like very those people who are not interested in something like I'm doing for women. So at this time, there is like little contrast. So I have another question. Should I create a company page and post everything related to that on that company page?
So that goes a bit on. I can give you the example what was happening to Darren. So Darren is a profile strategist. So he focuses on high performance profiles, but and his audience on LinkedIn. And one thing is you cannot create two audiences with one account. And when I said two accounts, obviously I didn't mean create two personal accounts on LinkedIn. You can have a business page and then a personal account. But most of the times, from the marketing standpoint, you're not going to use the same platform for the two things, because each platform will have, or I mean each business will have their own audience on on a specific platform. So maybe if you're sharing fitness tips, maybe LinkedIn is not your platform. You know what I mean? So unless you're sharing business tips for professionals or whatever specifically. On that note, is we had this issue with Darren. So Darren has been doing amazing with profiles on LinkedIn, but now he started a different project which is helping men with PTSD. And Darren started posting about this on LinkedIn. And I told Darren, listen, you cannot do this because the people who are following you on LinkedIn, they are not interested. They are not this audience. You did not build this audience. You have to build another one on a different platform because your LinkedIn followers, they are interested in LinkedIn profile tips, not anything else. So what's going to happen is you're going to start losing attention from the audience. They stop reacting to your posts, and the algorithm, be it here or be it anywhere else, stops dropping you as well to them. So they are all signs. So if you like a post, if you read a post, if you stay on it for a while, if you comment, this is a sign to the algorithm, be on any platform, that you are interested in that type of content. Now, if I'm following Darren and Darren starts talking about PTSD and I don't want to know about the PTSD, and I stop engaging with his content altogether, I will stop seeing that content. This means that his following will be less engaged and the algorithm will drop him and will give him less attention. So those numbers sometimes
True,
can
true,
be bad if they're not actual active. That's what you want.
very true. Okay, thank you so much. It makes sense.
My pleasure. I hope that your questions are answered. You okay with that?
We'll start wrapping up there, I think, mate, shall we?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right. I'll just like to highlight again that we're going to be here again next Friday with another amazing guest. I first of all, thank you so much, Perry, for coming. It's been an honor to hear all your insights on Sales Navigator and sales. As you know, I really resonate with the way you focus on sales. I love it. That's the way I work as well. So thank you very much.
It's totally my pleasure. It was a lot of fun, and I didn't think it was could go for over 90 minutes. I'm almost 100 minutes now, so I didn't think it would go that. But that's great. I'm glad I pushed my meeting to 1:30. So, yeah, that's
Thank
great.
you so much,
Really
Perry.
enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Thank you for the incredible good questions, and obviously there's some of you in there who are already pretty much masters at LinkedIn Sales Navigator. And if you ever have a question, feel free to go to my profile, book a free 10-minute call with me, and let's jump in and solve your problem. It's my pleasure to help you. It really is. I love helping people excel on Sales Navigator.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Perry. Darren, do you want to introduce the next week's guest? So if anybody wants to tune in next week.
Yep. So next week we've got Audrey Chia. She's from Singapore. She specializes in AI in ChatGPT. So we're going to be covering how AI can be incorporated into LinkedIn. And she's also got a business or a partner that she's starting to team up with called Jake George, who is from the United States. And he specializes in automated sales funnels with AI. So they're teaming up, they're building a product together. We're going to be talking about everything on there and how it can be incorporated into the platform.
That's amazing. So that's what we'll have next week. And I hope to see some of you here or all of you. And thank you very much for tuning in. Thank you, Darren, for everything. Thank you, Perry, once again. And have a great day,
Cheers.
everyone.
You too.
Thanks,
Have a
everyone.
fantastic weekend. And if you're in the Netherlands, have a fantastic King's Day. So have fun.
That's it.
Oh.
Bye. Bye.